Hey guys, I apologize for this video being so late. Just getting home from the soccer game. Hopefully some of you guys are still up and able to see this just to check to make sure that your homework is done correctly. But I'm going to do number 4 for you. All right. The first thing that this is asking you for is it's asking for the end behavior of the function. So the end behavior is, remember from our notes, what's going on the ends. So outside of all of our roots. So there's our leftmost root, there's our rightmost root. What happens after those, right? And in the notes 2 days ago, we would have said down to the left, down to the right. But today we learned to articulate that a little bit better and use some math vocabulary. So we're going to make two statements because we're going to talk about when x approaches negative infinity, which is all about what's going on in this direction. And then we're going to talk about what happens as x approaches positive infinity, which is what happens when we're traveling in this direction. So as I travel along my function and I pass my final root and I'm approaching negative infinity in the x direction, I am approaching negative infinity in the y direction because I'm going downward. So as I move left, I move downward. So as x approaches negative infinity, y also approaches negative infinity. Now let's talk about the other side. As I pass my final root on the right and travel in the positive x direction, I also go downward. So as x approaches positive infinity, y approaches negative infinity, just like it did in the other direction. So that's the end behavior of this function. Now I've also got a spot here for turning points. Turning points are nice to identify because it's going to help us break up our intervals of increase and decrease. So my turning points are just all the points where my function bends. So I've got the point negative 1.07, 1.037. This is a point, right? It's not an interval, it's just a point. I've got the point negative 0.27, negative 0.173. And I've got the point 0.216, 0.147. All right, so those are my 3 points. Those are the turning points. And then on top of that, we're going to have intervals over this space where our function is either increasing or it's decreasing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify the intervals of increase in green, and I'm going to identify the intervals of decrease in blue. As I'm traveling along the x-axis, I'm increasing, increasing, increasing all the way to here. Right? My function, as I travel along here, my value of my function is down here, right? And as I increase, my function also increases all the way to here. And then it's done increasing. And then it's going to decrease from there all the way to this point. And after that, it's increasing again to there, and then it decreases from there to infinity. So let's identify these intervals now. This first interval is the interval from negative infinity all the way to negative 1.07. That's what this space is, all of this, and then it stops at negative 1.07. So that's an interval of increase. All right, then we've got an interval of decrease. And over this interval, from here to here, it's decreasing until it stops. So that interval begins at negative 1.07 and ends at 0.27. So that's an interval of decrease. The next interval begins at 0.27 and ends at 0.216. That's also an interval of increase. And then finally, it's going to decrease forever and ever after that, right? It's just going to go downward forever. So it's going to decrease from 0.216 all the way to negative, or all the way to positive infinity, sorry, because we're moving that direction. So 0.216 to infinity. And that's it. That's the whole homework, right? So you do that for each of these 4 problems. Hopefully it's not too bad. Good luck, you guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow.